So a lot of people in Mexico don't know that the original names of indigenous groups were replaced and renamed. So what are the original names of these indigenous groups? Now, because of how Spanish colonization was carried out, the Aztecs, the Mexica, or the Nahuatl-speaking people had enormous influence over how things were categorized and how it mixed with the Spanish language. So what we're looking at here are exonyms and endonyms. Basically, a number of different circumstances will influence languages to name things differently. For example, the British named China, China because of their experiences with the Qin dynasty, but the people of China call themselves Shangguo, or the Middle Kingdom. Likewise, Guatemala is a Spanish version of Guatemalan, which is a direct translation of Quiche, or many trees, the place of many trees. Now let's get started with the Purépecha. I've done a video breaking down the history and the indigenous origins of the name Michoacán, which you're welcome to check out. So the Purépecha are the people, or the commoners, the common people, and the Spanish would call them the Tarascos due to their relationship with marriage and creating in-laws, which is a translation of the word Tarascua. And lastly, the Nahuatl speakers would call them the Michuas, or the fishermen. So Michoacán is actually the place of the fishermen. You know, sometimes there's a debate whether or not you should be calling them Tarascos or Purépecha. Personally, I would call them Purépecha because that is what they called themselves originally. But if someone who is Purépecha calls themselves Tarasco, you know, that's not really my place to correct them. So now the Otomi, as we know them, are the Nyaknyu. Now, because a lot of these languages have regional dialects, it may mean different things and have different spellings based on that region. So sometimes it translates to nasal speakers, or sometimes it translates to truth speakers. Now, Otomi is derived from the Nahuatl language, essentially breaking down to the bird hunters or arrow people. And it breaks down from the words tototl and mitl, totomik, otomik, otomi. And just for the record here, I look at the morphology and the etymology of these words, so these aren't things that I'm like making up or whatever, you know. Now the Zapotec people, or the Zapotecos as we know them, are the Binitza, and that go part is important, which I'll get to. So the Binitza are the cloud people, and the translation or the exonym is Zapoteca, which is people of the zapote tree or fruit, or the place of the zapote tree or fruit. And you'll see this often in Nahuatl language. The go and ga is a locative suffix, so it explains the place of, like Jalisco or Mexico is the place of something, kind of like England or Pakistan. And likewise, based on the regions of the Zapotecos, there's different names or pronunciations of how they refer to themselves, but it is the cloud people. I wanted to talk about way more, but I only have 3 minutes here and the time just flies by. But if you enjoyed that, I'd appreciate a like and a follow. In the future, when I study and learn more history and language, we'll be covering the Olmecas, Zacatecas, the Chichimecas. There's a number of different things I want to cover. Oh yeah, check out my work. All right, folks, peace.